So a lot of cameras right now are just getting upgraded with sensors, megapixels, and there's nothing really super unique about them other than that you can flip the LCD screen so you can see yourself while you're filming. But otherwise there's not really too much experimental things going on. And back in the 60s and even earlier than that, film cameras, a lot of companies would make these really unique cameras, and now we aren't seeing that as much. But recently, from this past Christmas, I ended up getting a camera that was almost entirely made out of paper, which I'll show you now. So here it is, the PaperShoot camera, and it is 16 megapixel. It shoots at, if you can see it on there, if it'll focus in, f2.2, and it's auto. I just read online that it's f2, but it says 2.2 on here, so maybe it's just the newer model. And then on the back, you have here all these different little filters that go onto it. So this one is kind of like color all around. Oops, losing the focus. Black and white, more of a warmer kind of appearance, and then the bluer appearance. Now let's get into the more painstaking part of this camera, which is setting it up. Alright, so the first thing is these little pieces on here, that little gold piece. We're gonna have to twist these off. Usually comes off pretty quickly, as long as you hold down on the other side. Makes it super duper simple. And I may do a little, again, speed ramping of this so it can be a little bit quicker, just making sure it focuses in. Alright, almost there. So then this pops open, pretty neat. This is what the inside of the camera looks like, and then it kind of peels off for you. So this is just the protector for it, and this is the inside of the camera. So literally this is all you have inside the camera, which is pretty sick. And you have, I think I got a little bit of something there, you have 2 AAA batteries that you put in here, and that's all that you need to power it. And then you also have this adapter, which is for the SD card. It'll focus in. That comes with the camera. And then on the back here, this is the last little bit that I can show you on here. And just making sure it focuses, and that is that kind of little chip that they put in there to make sure you have those filters that go in correctly. And just making sure that's popped in correctly. Alright, sweet. And that is basically it. And then those are right in here just for the different sort of colors that you can have. And then all you have to do to get it back in is you pop it in these little holes. And I just lost all of my batteries. So yeah, as you just saw in that, the batteries are a little touchy. So just be careful when you're loading it back in. Hopefully everything goes according to plan. Alright, there's that. Sweet. Now all I have to do is tie these back in. So you take the long ends and you put it through right there. Just hold down so it can twist in. Super easy to get in. which is great. So just make sure they're pretty tight and secure. So let's say I wanted to shoot black and white for the day. I just push it over there. And there's also the warm or the more blue hue that you can use. But usually I do either black and white or I do this warmer color. The warmer color is really cool because it shows it in more of that like film look, which is really neat. Alright, and as soon as you get this whole thing set up, as I showed, that shutter button is right here. It's kind of carved a little bit so you can figure out where it is. And then you just look through the viewfinder and it's already live, ready to go, so you'll click it. And once you hear that little shutter noise that they make, it's all set and you just took an image. So that's all there is to that with setting it up, and let's get right into the review of this. So I ended up bringing the paper shoot out to Arizona with me, and I was able to use it on a few hikes in one place that was known as a ghost town, even though it was really renovated for the most part, but there was still some kind of like historic look to it, which was pretty neat. So I was able to practice there, and those were mainly the two places that I used it, and then I used it on a hike in Kaaterskill Falls in New York, and I'm really trying to get this thing out there more because there's a lot to it that I have to learn. But without further ado, here's some shots that I made in Arizona with the paper shoot camera. So those were from the Goldfield Ghost Town in Arizona, located near the Superstition Mountains. Now, let's go into the Superstition Mountains and I'll show you some really cool petroglyphs from like 1500 years ago. Yes, the paper shoot, I love it for the most part. This thing, you basically can just put it in your pocket and then you're good to go. You can just rip shots 24/7. So it's a really, really neat point and shoot. And the only issue that I really have with it is the viewfinder. Just expect your images to be a lot wider than you expected. Whenever I look through a viewfinder, I usually it's really what you see, but this is a little bit different. So the image comes out a lot wider than you may expect, but otherwise incredible camera. Lots that I have to learn with it, especially with the viewfinder, but otherwise it's pretty sweet. Alright, and a huge shout out to my sister for getting me this for Christmas, or else I probably would have never ended up using it. I kept an eye on the paper shoot camera for a really long time, and I didn't really know if I wanted to go for it or not, or experiment with it, because I also have like medium format that I'm experimenting with and just regular 35mm. So it's been an incredible journey so far. By the way, I'm not sponsored by Paper Shoot at all, but I just wanted to do a little review on this camera and kind of how to use it, because I saw that on YouTube there wasn't really a lot of videos that covered it, or really how to use the camera, how to set it up. So I wanted to just cover a quick video on that, and I hope you enjoy, and I will see you in the next video.